guys, here's the video I said I'd post about the Mark II night vision unit that I've made. Here it is. It's shorter than the previous one. Same again, cardboard this end, but here is the actual sunshade off of my scope. There's a different camera in the end of here. If you look down in there, you can see it's a board camera, and that's behind the back of here, which, believe it or not, is a plastic top off a glass tub that had hand cream in it. What I've actually done is cut the inside of that lid out so the top piece still pops on and off like this, and now I have the board camera in the back, which is glued in at all 4 points with araldite, but that's only done once the tube is mounted to your scope. Then that way you can make sure that the camera is lined up in your screen properly when you've got your screen on, because you'll find that if you don't get it lined up in there, that when you zero your scope without the unit on, when you then fit the unit to it, if your camera is looking down that scope differently to what you do with your eye, then your 0 point in your scope, well, not the scope, but in the camera, will actually change your point of impact. It's the same as if you zero your scope and then you look at an awkward angle through your scope at what you're shooting at. It will actually change the point of impact. You need to try and look down your scope the same each time, otherwise it will vary your zero. Now, on the side of this unit, this is a plastic project box which I got from Maplin's for about £4. On the side here, this is our input jack, a 12-volt input. This is our on-off switch. We've got a toggle on there so we can have it on, or we can hold it down and have it momentary for spotting. And on the other end of here, on the top here, we have a power light. This is our OSD menu control for our camera in the back. Then we've got our 3-wire audio and video lead. On top of here, as you can see, there is a mount. And I'll show you what actually goes back onto this mount in a moment, what I record on. But firstly, I'll put this down and I'll show you the power pack that I'm actually using to power this unit. Now, this power pack I got from eBay. Took a couple of weeks to get here because it is from China. Cost me £12.50 as an on-off switch, and it's an 8000 milliamp battery which will last more than enough for an entire night shooting. This doesn't only power the camera, but it also powers on here. This here is our mic, which I've built in, and there's an on-off switch for the mic as well, so you don't actually have to be recording sound. You can turn the mic off if you want to. A Jubilee clip on here, as this unit is a slightly looser fit than the push-on one, but it is only fractional, so the Jubilee clip holds it on steady as a rock. each time you fit it. Now I'll go ahead. There's a lead off of a battery which I've made up, a few bits from Maplin's and soldering iron. We plug that one in, turn the switch on the side of the battery, and then you see switch on. We've got power off, or you can press and hold and toggle, and then release. So now that that's powering up, I will show you what actually sits on the top of it. And I've made this from a Nintendo DS case, and zip up type, got from the pound shop. Now on the back of this we've got the other half of the camera mount that you see on top of the night vision unit, and inside here we have the travel adapter. Unzip the case, flip it open, you'll see that inside here is a DVR. This one here is a Arcos 605. It's only 4 GB, but more than adequate. You can use this for viewing and recording. Either way, it's very good on battery. This one, unfortunately, I've got another model as well, but this one you can't set to have the LCD screen on all the time. You get about a 30-second to a minute window, and then it will go back into standby then. But all you've got to do with this one, because it's a touch screen, is just tap the screen and it's back to life again. So there's the travel adapter there, and there's our input for our lead coming off of our night vision unit. So all you do is just flip the case on there, take this little adapter here, slide him onto the top, and then tighten him up. Now with this one, it's good because you can actually turn this unit whichever side of the night vision you want. So if you're shooting out of a car window and you've got your rifle on the side like this, you can actually undo this, turn it to where you want it. You can, even if you want to, you can put it right the way up flat, but you've got basically not quite 360 degrees, because obviously on the back of here you've got your scope and your adjusting turrets, but you've got a very good range of movement to be able to place your camera where you want it. Just for this example, I'll actually place it behind, as you'd be looking from the back of the scope, because you can still shoot by mounting the rifle in your shoulder. So now that's screwed on there, we take a plug it into the bottom of the travel adapter, switch our camera on. There you go, we know we've got power now. Now hopefully it doesn't always recognise the camera first time, but hopefully now we can power up the unit like so, which will give us our screen. As I say, this is a touch screen model, so you just click on the screen there. One would hope it's going to bring up the camera, but I can tell with the amount of time that it's taken, it isn't going to actually do that. There we go, it's brought up the TV menu. So what we do is we go back out of there, and the easiest way to solve this is to just lift the camera up, unplug the travel adapter, and then replug it, and hopefully then it will recognise the camera. There we go, nice and simple. Now as you'll see, the picture on this looks blurred. Now, the reason this looks blurred is because the focus on the lens has been focused into the crosshairs my scope, and then the parallax adjustment on the side of the scope is what you actually use to get your focus on your scope. So this is focused in for my crosshairs, not the background picture. OSD menu, very easy to access on the side. Just click the button, up comes your menu. It's set up so the switch works how it does. If you pull towards you is down, left and right alters your menu, and that gives you a wide selection on this camera of your shutter speed, your colour adjustment, your night vision capabilities, because you can actually open and close your shutter. You've got DWR on here that helps a lot. And if I was to switch DWR on now in this light, you would there we go, there's the screen clicking off. Just click it again, and we pull down and we turn the shutter AGC, which is on auto. We move it across to the manual setting, and as you can see, that's gone very bright. And the reason for that is, in the manual setting, I've actually gone in and changed the settings on there, so the shutter's 1/50 and the AGC's on 36. Now you can play about with this in the field. I haven't really played about with it to a massive extent at the moment. I have used it and it's worked well on these settings, so I've actually decided to leave it as it is for now until I get a chance to go out and try the unit again. As I say, the OSD menu is very easy to work off the buttons on the side. We go back up again now, back into the shutter, and we come back across into auto mode. You'll see that it changes itself back, and basically you go down to the bottom. Instead of just pressing exit, you go across, and in the bottom of the screen it says save all. Click the button on save all, come back across to exit, click again, and that actually saves your last recorded preferences. And as you can see, this one does close itself off after a short amount of time. Can be frustrating, but it is good. It saves on power. Your face isn't lit up all the time by the screen. Several occasions we've been out, we've spotted with the torch. As soon as we've spotted eyes, we've just switched off the torch and come straight onto the night vision, because you know where they are once you've spotted them with the torch. You know they're out there, and you can pick them up a lot easier with the night vision if you know that there are eyes to look for. So there we go. The added bonus of having this case on here is nobody likes anything getting wet, so if you do get a downpour, you can just flip the cover over. Very, very handy for getting rid of the glare off the screen if you need to darken things up quite quickly. It's not always good to have a screen pointing if you're calling in a fox. Lighten up your face. If you know the fox is there, you just cover the screen up, call in your fox, give it a minute, and then scan again. It works very effectively. As I say, it'll run forever on the battery that I'm using. I haven't actually charged it up since it was first charged, and it's been out on 2 shooting occasions with me so far. It's still running on the same battery. So there you go, there's the camera once more. Board camera, very slim, very short, which means you can make your night vision shorter. Weight wise, it isn't too bad. It does obviously change the balance of the rifle a little bit having that on the back of it, but there is a way of moving this off of the top of here if you want to, and actually mounting just the stem on top of a scope mount. Just file 2 grooves in the bottom of this pillar, and then those 2 grooves are what your dovetail clamps into, which holds that exactly the same but actually further forward on your scope, so you haven't got the weight on the barrel of your scope. It depends on if you think you've got a nice sturdy scope or not, but I definitely have no problems with this on a MTC Viper. Works very well. You've got the added bonus then of the MTC's got the illuminated rectile as well, which lights up very nicely at night, especially on black and white. If you're running in black and white mode, you don't get that big red glare. You just get a nice white crosshair, which you can get quite fine. So if you've got any questions or just want to like or give me some feedback on this unit, then please feel free. I mean, the entire thing to build, I think the camera was like 12 or £14 with the postage, again from China. That's my original sunshade off my scope, so I already had that, didn't have to purchase it. But I say just some card, which is found inside wrapping paper tubes, a Jubilee clip, which was probably about 70 pence, the plastic box, which was £4, the mic was £3, again off eBay. The lead was purchased from eBay for about £3 to £4. Nicks and Knacks little light, probably round about the £10 region once you've brought the power adapters and everything. So all in all, not very expensive to build at all. I mean, even the DVR, I've picked this one up second hand off eBay, and I got this particular one for £13. So it just goes to show there are bargains out there. I've got another one sat on the bench next to me here, so in total, if I want to, I can go out. I've got 2 night vision units with the earlier model that I showed you, the tube model. As I say, I've got another clamp on top of my rifle, so I can make the screen either way I want, either on top of this unit or separate from the unit and on top of the scope. Power pack, which plugs into both. They've both got the same power adapters on them, so it's interchangeable. So you can literally pop that onto the back of your scope, and with a few shims or just another piece of card taped to the back of your eyepiece and then wrap round a few times until you get a nice tight fit, you can adjust it to fit different scopes. I mean, I shoot primarily with a 2.2, a rimfire, but my friend shoots a 2.2 air rifle. So to be able to put this unit onto the back of an air rifle and go into farm buildings that we wouldn't usually go into, because we've got cattle can get spooked, and as we know, accidents happen, so we prefer not to go traipsing around shining lights. This is our method of doing things. Again, you can spot with a torch and then just go to your night vision. It's not a hard thing to do, especially if you're up in the rafters away from the cattle. I mean, you don't want to go in there with big lights, shining big lights around at night, and nobody wants that. It's always best to be as quiet and as efficient as you can be, and I think these units are a good way into it. I mean, both these units were built for the units themselves, probably about £45–50 each, and then you've got your DVR on top of that. And as I say, I picked that one up there for £13.50. So you can get a good night vision device. I mean, I use a laser illuminator, so I'm getting probably 500 yards with a laser, zoomed right in on the laser. So it is good, and it does work. And I will put some footage on actually showing you it working when our lovely weather in England here, nearly at the beginning of June, decides that we can have some sunshine and actually get out and do something instead of just wheel spinning and getting stuck in mud. So there we go. I hope you like them. Please feel free to give me some feedback, and I'll hopefully be back soon with some actual footage of the unit shooting. Thank you very much. We shall see you again.